Wanna see my Erdls? What it be, what it do, everyone? It's your boy Faraway Quarry 13 speaking, aka everyone's favorite gardener is back. In the previous videos we saw my entire Thomas finds, whether they be from flea markets to online, and those were a really fun series of videos, I gotta say, and it seems like you guys really enjoyed them as well. So in this video we're gonna keep the train rolling before I go to the UK, and just in time because I just received a brand new package filled to the brim with a lot of interesting Thomas stuff. Like what, Hugo? Well, pretty cool, huh? And barring the Carnival Caper set, which I'll talk about later, these are all of my Thomas online finds from late June 2025. As you can see, I found a little bit of everything here, from new in-box Erdls to DVDs, a brand new Thomas Wooden Railway set, even more Thomas character cards, and last but not least, the Thomas and Percy's Carnival Adventure set, or as I always knew it as the Carnival Caper set. There is so much to stuff here, where do I even begin? This package arrived just in time, and I thought it would be a really interesting video to show you guys before I go. So I know you guys are just dying to see what's in here. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright everyone, it's time for me to show you guys my Thomas online haul from late June 2025. At the time of recording this video, today is July 1st, 2025, and in exactly 10 days, I'ma be going to the UK. So see you guys all at Awdry Extravaganza. I'm really looking forward to it. But I left a bunch of pre-recorded material, so there won't be any shortage of content, hopefully. And I just say that we've been having a lot of lovely weather as of late. I'm so used to the hot, scorching desert Mexican sun, so to finally have cloudy, rainy days, now that's my kind of weather. And I'm just in a roll today. So these packages came in just in the nick of time before I go. And I know you guys are just dying for me to talk about these items. So where do I even begin? Well, how about we start with the smallest items and then work all the way up to the biggest ones? So I think we're gonna start with the Erdls here. All of the Erdls came from the same vendor, by the way. His online name is Donald9 and Douglas10, and I can't recommend that guy enough for if you want to start your own DVD Thomas collection. I know the hassle it is to, find Thomas DVDs online, especially on eBay's shitty website. So if you want to buy classic Thomas DVDs for a decent price, Donald9 and Douglas10 has got you covered. And sometimes the DVDs would even include a little Erdl item, and that is really cool and neat. So again, if you're looking into buying Thomas DVDs at a decent price, Donald9 and Douglas10 has got you covered. I think he's a really quality vendor, and I can't thank him enough for him to sell these items for me, especially since eBay banned me. Link to the description in his Twitter is down below. So if you're looking to buy a Thomas DVD, just, give it a look and tell the guy that I said hi. So without further ado, we're gonna start looking at all the Erdls that I got from him, starting with this guy. So yeah, so this is Sir Topham Hatt's car, or as the title calls it, the Fat Controller's car, because the Fat Controller is the name of Sir Topham Hatt in the UK. Well, yeah, Now I gotta say, this is a really unique piece of Thomas and Friends merchandise. At first glance, it doesn't even look like a Thomas item. So yeah, so as you can see, this is a mid to late 90s era of Thomas packaging, which I just adore, with that lovely artwork by Owen Bell. Remember when old Thomas toys looked like this? Well, I don't, because I grew up in the 2000s, but still. And I just love how each and every single character, no matter how shitty and puny it was, had its own little dedicated card for it. So this is really like the earliest version of a character card. So you see, the idea is that you cut the top half off. You can even see the little scissors logo with the dotted line. And the idea is that you cut this off and you essentially have you have your very own Thomas character card and have a little small collection of them. Now, I don't really like this idea because it would essentially mean you have to destroy the packaging to get the character card and the item itself. And I'm not willing to do that, as you can see. You kidding me? You see what I mean of me buying two of each item? And so yeah, so this is Sir Topham Hatt's car. And man, they really chose a good basis to, make Sir Topham Hatt's car. And it's actually blue this time, unlike the Wooden Railway version, which was yellow for some reason. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if this specific model was, a retooling of a previously released Erdl item. You see, before Erdl made Thomas toys, they were known for making, little diecast cars and tractors. I wouldn't be surprised if this is, a retooling of one of their cars, 19 1960s cars that they would make, and it most likely is, but I think they chose a really good basis for Sir Topham Hatt's car. It's not entirely 100% accurate, but I think it suffices. And this thing looks lovely, I gotta say, with that blue finish, and you know, even like, you know, the little die cast, you know, like metal parts of it, like it looks really stunning with this brand new. And so yeah, so looking at the back, each little character card will give you like a little description and a historical note as well, and in 2 languages, as you can see, in English and French, but there is no Spanish language. What the hell, Erdl? We don't matter or what? I'm not sending the DM to fix this. And over here we would get like a little list of like, you know, all of the characters available. Like we have Thomas starting at number 1, and then we end at Caroline at 51, and this item is dated in 1996, I just noticed. So I think we're gonna read like every single historical note from each and every single Erdl that I bought. Quite naturally, the Fat Controller, Sir Topham Hatt, preferred trains to any other way of traveling, but he does need his faithful saloon car to take him to work every day. Historical note: the Fat Controller, Sir Topham Hatt's car, is loosely based on the saloon cars made in the 1950s. Now I need to know in what region of the world this came out with. I guess it came from both regions, that's why they're using like both names for this character, like, you know, the Fat Controller for the UK and Sir Topham Hatt in the US. Now whether you like to call him Fat Controller or Sir Topham Hatt, like it's a matter of opinion really. I grew up with the American dub, so of course I'd call him Sir Topham Hatt more, but of course people who grew up in the UK call him the Fat Controller, which is like, you know, I believe like this most like official name, you know, like it's really ingrained into like, you know, the UK's pop culture that the Fat Controller is named. But it's really cool that if this came out in the US, like it's really cool that they're using, you know, both names, even though like, you know, cause Sir Topham Hatt was never called the Fat Controller like anywhere over here, aside from the songs maybe, but that's about it. And so what can I really say about this item? It's really a unique piece of Thomas merchandise, I gotta say. I just love the fact that Erdl even took the time to make, you know, like random vehicles that you will see like in the background of the show. Stuff like the canal boats, those caterpillar cranes, lorries, that goddamn Sodor taxi. Like there is a lot of Thomas ranges out in the wild, but just remember, only one of them bothered to make the Sodor taxi. So yeah, I have nothing more to say about Sir Topham Hatt's car. It's a really neat item. I'm glad I have it, and thanks to Down the Line and Douglas 10 to selling this for me. So moving on, the next Erdl I have to show you guys is this is Peter Sam. Now Peter Sam is one of my favorite narrow gauge characters, and to finally have a packaged Erdl of him is really special, I gotta say. And so yeah, so here's same idea as the previous one. There's a Peter Sam from the mid to late 90s with that lovely artwork by Owen Bell. The narrow gauge characters in Erdl are so interesting because as far as I know, they were never based on the TV series props. They were based on their appearance in the Railway series illustrations, so that's why, you know, Peter Sam has like, you know, the accurate Diesel injector funnel instead of the square rectangular funnel he has in the TV series. Might just say, like, when you get these things brand new, these packaging looks extremely gorgeous. Like, I just love the colors of it so much. So yeah, so here we have, like, you know, Peter Sam. Here we have the little Erdl item of it. It looks in spectacular condition, as you can see. And looking at the back, a happy, kindly engine, but a little vulnerable. He is often teased by the others, but they love him really. He, like Sir Handel, was tutored by Duke and has a great respect for him deep down. Despite ribbing him about his age, a hard worker by nature, Peter Sam seldom grumbles about late hours and extra work. I would say this is a really good description of the character. Like, it references a bunch of moments from the show, like You Can't Win, Peter Sam and the Refreshment Lady, Special Funnel, you know, stuff like that. And as for the historical note, it reads, Peter Sam is based on a narrow gauge industrial tank engine built in England in the 1920s. So yeah, that's really accurate historical note, I would say. I also like the little fact that, you know, that they even bother to include the Peter Sam, also known as Stuart, because, you know, there was a bit of a name change like over there. That's pretty cool. Here we have the list of all the characters available. It's funny because this is also dated 1996, but this has like way less characters than the Sir Topham Hatt's car one. So yeah, so what can I really say about Peter Sam? It's one of my favorite narrow gauge engines, and to finally have it, and to finally have the Erdl variant of it, it's really special, I gotta say. It's no good, Stuart. You can't win. Alright, so next in the collection we have everyone's favorite Stepney hater, Rheneas, or Rheneas, or whatever the fuck you want to call him. But this is not your average Rheneas. This is a limited edition Rheneas. Now, I already showed this item like in the previous flea market videos. I actually found 2 of this item, if you guys remember. But to have one in its original packaging is really cool. This isn't the same idea as the others, you know, how the lovely character illustrations by Owen Bell, but you know, since it's a limited edition, like this one, like even, I don't know know if you can see, but like, you know, this one, like the character even like reflects, has like that metallic, you know, finish to it. They made a bunch of this limited edition characters from all of the no-brainer characters like Thomas, Percy, James, Henry, all of those. But they also made a bunch of what the fucks like Duke, Rheneas, Lord Harry, really random characters. I ain't complaining though, because these are some of the coolest items that Ertl ever produced. And to have the Rheneas in this packaging is really special, even especially since I don't have to rip it apart or anything. Like this can stay as it is because I already have like 2 metallic Rheneas essentially. Like there is literally no point of opening this one. I love it. I don't have the greatest selection of limited edition characters. Like I only have Henry and Rheneas essentially, but they're still really welcome additions to the collection, I gotta say. A tough little engine by nature, but because of his age, often breaks down mechanically, which he hates. His sole purpose in life is to work hard and uphold a fine reputation of the railway system, always concerned about the well-being of passengers, well respected by the other engines and especially by drivers and firemen alike. So yeah, so they pretty much like every single Rheneas description is basically gonna reference his like, you know, escapade in Gallon Little Engine, and I would say this is a really good description of Rheneas. Historical note: Rheneas is based on a narrow gauge industrial tank engine built in England in the 1860s. So yeah, so this is really accurate. Like they don't really mention like, you know, like the specific engine that like each character is based on. Like the historical notes are really vague really, but I think they're still really neat, I guess. And here's a little characters list, of course, and this one goes up to the number 57. The number 57 being Henry's luck car of all items. And so what can I say about limited edition Rheneas? This is one of the coolest Ertls in my collection. Like I would love to have a little, you know, collection of like, you know, every single limited edition engine in the packaging, because like all of them look really neat and awesome. But for now I have Rheneas, or Rheneas, everyone's favorite Stepney hater. And now that I covered this item, it is time to move on. Alright, so next we have a Railway Series character, actually. We have everyone's favorite, Lord Harry. Now, similar to Wooden Railway, Ertl also made a fuck ton of Railway Series characters to buy. Now, Wooden Railway made Caldy, as we know, but Ertl went above and beyond and made Caldy, Godred, and Lord Harry, which is amazing to me, especially since one of these characters is canonically dead. And they went so hard on the detail on these characters. Like, look at this one. Look at Lord Harry. Look at all of the, you know, like little like you know, pistons and the little parts that I don't know the names of, but it's cool that they added them anyway. It's really funny because, you know, whoever designed this Ertl, like, you know, had really limited, like, you know, information about this guy. He only appears in one book, and I don't think we ever get to see him, like, all angles of him. And Lord Harry is definitely one of the most oddest characters you could ever buy in the Thomas Ertl range, and I love it so much. This has got to be one of my favorite Ertls in the collection, especially because he's purple, unlike purple. And so looking at the back, number 6 Lord Harry is one of the new mountain engines, and he's very reckless. He reckons his superheat means he can go twice as fast as the other engines. This caused him to come off the track once. The manager put him in the shed in disgrace and took away his name. So yeah, so this is pretty much references like the first half of the Mountain Engines book. I believe the story is called Danger Points, but it doesn't reference the other half of the story where Lord Harry redeems himself by rescuing a climber in the bad weather. But I would say this is a really good description of Lord Harry, especially for being a character that only appeared in one book. Historical note: Lord Harry is based on a mountain engine built in the 1920s by the Swiss Locomotive and Machine Co., pioneers in mountain rack and pinion railways. So you see, so they mentioned, like, you know, the specifics of Lord Harry, but they didn't mention the specifics of Peter, Sam, and Rheneas. Okay, here's a character list, and it only goes up to number 51, which is Caroline, similar to the Sir Topham Car and others. And this one is dated 1997. Really neat. And so what can I say about Lord Harry? Not much character-wise, but this has had to be one of the coolest Ertls in the collection. I love the mountain engines concept, even though they didn't appear anywhere in the TV series. I think it was one of the most creative ideas that came out of the Railway series, and I just love all of these little guys so much. But I have nothing more to say other than that, so let's move on. Alright, so the last Ertl I have to show you guys is Eddie. Steady Eddie. So yeah, so this is a 2001 Edward, as you can see, the very last year in which Ertl was available in American stores before Take Along took over. And this is a really special item for me. You see, I still don't have a loose Edward in my collection. Like, I have all of the Steam Team characters but Edward, but I finally have one in the packaging, which is really neat. And so yeah, so this is a really different style from what we saw before. Like, this is the 2001 style, and I know that a lot of people don't like this style of covers, but I don't know, man, I really fuck with it. I really like it. It's simple, but it's elegant. What's not to love? And so yeah, so here we have Edward. We have, you know, the name here. We have the newer Thomas logo over here. This is before Hit Entertainment took over. That's why it says like Gulain. We have the Ertl logo logo over here. We have some nice looking symbols over here. I just love the colors of the packaging so much. This style of packaging just reeks 2000s Thomas branding. I love it. And so looking at the back, we don't get a little description anymore of the character or like a little list of the character. We don't even like, get like a attempt of a character card, and I just noticed something really interesting. So you see, this thing is dated 2002, which is really odd to me, because 2001 was the last year that these were ever in production in the US. As we know, in 2002 Earl was replaced by Take Along, but this Earl Edward is dated 2002. This has got to be like one of the very last Edwards that was ever in production, just before Take Along took over the range. It's really interesting, I gotta say. And so what can I really say about Edward? Like, it's a really cool character. I just need one that is loose, because like as of now, it's cool that I have him, but you know, I can't use it. But at least I have an Edward in this packaging, which is really cool. And so what can I say about all of these turtles? I think these are really cool, unique pieces of Thomas merchandise, and they just reek of 1990s golden era of Thomas and Friends. And these are not gonna be the only Ertl items in the packaging that I'm gonna show. If more Ertl items come up in this style, you bet your ass I'm gonna be buying them. I just love, like, you know, this particular era of like Ertl branding. There has been a lot of packaging styles from Ertl, but none that I feel that are as cool as these ones personally. Even the 2002 Edward is really nice. I don't really like the Shining Time Station era. Like, I would love to have a collection of them, of course, but as you know, I think the priority at the moment is gonna be the Owen Bell and 2001 Ertl branding style. And some of these are really cool pieces of Thomas merchandise. I just love everything about them, and I gotta say, these things look really awesome on my shelf. So yeah, so I'm definitely excited to have a little collection of all of them, of every single Ertl character in this style, and when I do, I'll let you guys know. But for now, having all of these is really cool. So with all of that said, let's move on. But the Ertls are not the only thing that I want to talk about. As you see, every single Ertl that I bought came with a little DVD. I don't think there was any correlation between what character and DVD you're gonna get. I believe they just chose it, you know, randomly. But I would still figure I would talk about all of the DVDs that I got. So without further ado, let's briefly look at all of them. So I got a copy of Hop on the Board Songs and Stories. This is basically like an updated version of the sing-along stories. If you remember in my DVD video, I told you guys that I didn't have sing-along stories, and now I just have way too much of that DVD. I'm really dying to make an updated version of the DVD video, because like my DVD collection video is severely outdated now, and also my VHS collection is also severely outdated now. So if you guys would like to show all of my DVD finds, all of my DVD and VHS finds, leave it in the description. I think that would be a really cool video. And so this is a really cool DVD. It didn't came with a CD, but it's like, you know, but hey, what gives? So yeah, so that's one. Next we have another DVD. This is the Thomas Trusty Friends and Unsigned with Thomas on basically one DVD pack. I gotta say, like, out of all the DVD packs that they've released, like, I feel like this was the one that makes the most sense, because, you know, Jack in the Pack. So yeah, I gotta say, I really like this one. And it also came with both the DVDs. And so yeah, so this is really cool. And moving on, we have a slim case copy of Team Up with Thomas. I didn't know that this even existed, but here it is. And a new copy of Ultimate Christmas. Now, I'm really glad that I have this, because if you remember, like, the version that I had was really sun faded. Like, all of the Christmas mistletoe things had turned blue. So to finally have a version that looks, you know, good is really special, I gotta say. But this is not the Christmas DVD that I want to talk about. Oh no, because I got this guy. This is Thomas's Christmas Wonderland and Other Thomas Adventures, and this is the rarest standard release Thomas DVD that you can get in the US. There's been rarer DVDs than this, but those usually came with some sort of set or bundle. This is the rarest Thomas, like, standard Thomas DVD release that you can get, which is funny because I'm pretty sure the VHS version is common as dirt, but the DVD is really hard to find. And the reason it's hard to find is that, as far as I know, this was only released once in 2002 and never again. And this one comes with a free Inside Music CD sampler. And this is a really chunky case, as you can see. And it was only ever released in this style. It was never re-released again without the CD sampler DVD. So the only version that you can get about this DVD is like this fat chunky case one. And for that reason, this DVD is really a crown jewel of your Thomas DVD collection. And it goes for high prices on shitty ass websites like eBay. But Donald 9 and Douglas 10 was kind enough to sell me this one for a really decent price, I would say. And you'd be happy to know that this one even comes with everything essentially. It comes with the DVD. It also comes with the CD. I'm really looking forward to listening to this one. And it also came with the little booklet thing. But apparently there's two variants of this DVD. This one that has like this CD, but there's also another one that has like, you know, another CD that has like, you know, does more Christmas theme, which I think is more appropriate for this release because, you know, Christmas, snow, you know. But I gotta say, just having one version of this DVD is definitely a win for the collection. To finally have the rarest Thomas released in the US is really, really special. I always dreamed of one day having this exact DVD. I also have the VHS version for this, and I really, really need to make a new VHS and DVD video because I have a lot to show and say. Pretty much my VHS and DVD collection has doubled, so if you guys would like to see that video, please let me know in the comments. I think that would be a really, really fun video to make. But for now that I've shown you all of these DVDs, I would think it gives you like a pretty good taste of like, you know, what have I acquired. And thanks to Down the Line and Douglas 10 for selling me this thing. So now I'm happy to say that I'm a proud Christmas Wonderland owner. Cover on this one looks spectacular. I just love everything about it. That Thomas image with snow and that season 2 image from Missing Christmas Tree. This is a really, really fantastic looking cover. It's definitely way better than the Snowy Surprise DVD, which ironically enough, I feel like that one is one of the most common releases you can get, and this is definitely one of the most rarest ones. And I think this is the cooler one out of the two, if I'm honest. And with this DVD covered, it is time to move on to the next section. And with all of that said, let's move on. Alright, so next in the online haul, we have something really, really special. I didn't thought I would have to do an update on one of my latest videos, but remember the character cards two-parter? Well, turns out that that video is severely outdated now. Yeah, I know, this early, right? Because I got the following, and I think I'm gonna let this do all the talking. Lovely. These are even more Thomas character cards, courtesy of Nathan TWR for sending me these. So you see, when I released the character card, like, you know, two-parter, my very good friend Nathan TWR saw that video and DM'd me saying that he had a bunch of character cards that he wanted to get rid of, and if I was interested in buying them. And I said, yeah, dude, of course. I can never had enough cardboard, am I right? And he just sent me a bunch of Thomas character cards that I didn't have. Some of them I already had, like Edward and James, but most of them are character cards that I never had. Stuff with character cards like Billy or Duncan or, like, you know, battery operated Thomas, you know. And so yeah, I just know that this is definitely gonna require its very own video. I never thought that my character card video would, like, you know, be outdated by now, but I ain't complaining though. Again, a special shout out to Nathan TWR. Of course, I'm gonna leave this channel and his Twitter like down below. He makes really great content and is an awesome friend of mine. And I just gotta say, if you're watching this, man, thank you a lot for selling me these things. You are definitely awesome. I have a lot to say about all of these character cards. He gave me a bunch of them from the, you know, the 2000s era, from the 1990s era of cards. So that's pretty interesting. So if you guys would love to see that video, please let me know. I think it would be a really interesting video. If you like the character cards video that I released, you're definitely gonna enjoy this one. If you didn't and found it boring, I'm sorry. But yeah, so this is definitely gonna require its own unique video, so please be on the lookout for that. So moving on. Alright everyone, I had to change the angle of the camera again, so you guys know that now we're getting into the big stuff. We have two Thomas playsets to see, and I think you guys are really, really gonna enjoy these. We're gonna start with the smallest one. Lovely. This is the Water Tower and Figure 8 set, dated 2005, and well, yeah, you can tell. Now, I made a video showing you guys my my online haul of classic Thomas Little Railway items. If you haven't seen that video yet, I highly recommend you do. But all of those were from the 1990s era of Thomas Little Railway, which I consider it to be like the classic golden era of that. But this is from the 2000s era of Thomas Little Railway, and this is definitely my era of Thomas Little Railway. This is the era that I grew up with. This is the era that I'm the most familiar with when I was buying Thomas Little Railway items at Toys R Us when I was at my prime. And yeah, as you can see, this box looks in really, really clean state. Now, Thomas Little Railway has had a bunch of figure 8 sets, and it's really, really hard to keep track of, like, you know, every single one of them. But this is the version that has, like, you know, the water tower, and it has, like, you know, a little like cargo crate. You can even see at the front, it even gives you like a little taste of, you know, the water tower. And just looking at this style of Thomas branding just screams to me the 2000s branding of Thomas and Friends. This is really nostalgic to see again. Like this is something that I would have definitely bought back in the day at Toys R Us, and I'm all for it. And so yeah, so this set has 25 pieces, and it has like, you know, a bridge, a water tower. It's basically, you know, a pretty much a figure 8 set. Like, what's not to love? Here it has a little sticker of, you know, $40 apparently. You can save $70 with this, or 49 Canadian and save up to 100. So this must have come from the, you know, the northern US or maybe Canada. So that's really interesting. Looking at the back, we have a lovely picture of the set in question. And so yeah, so this is what I was saying about the figure 8 sets. So here we have another one, and this is the one that I immediately associate with when I think of the figure 8 set. Has like a boxcar and a caboose, and it replaces the water tower with the conductor shed. I believe you get a little bit more value out of this one because, you know, honestly, in my opinion, the conductor shed is a way better destination than a water tower. They're basically the same idea. It's just that, you know, you get a different bridge, a different decal bridge, and you get, this one has a pine tree, this one has a tree. What's not to love? But even the most basic bottom of the barrel Thomas Wonder Railway sets is still so high quality and fun. And believe it or not, I have a lot to say about this little set. So I think this is gonna be reserved for its own video. Now I have really limited time before I go, so I'm not sure if I would be able to film it still. And let me just get this out of the way. I have opened this set before. I know that it comes with all the pieces. It comes with all, you know, the little pamphlets and stuff. And as far as I know, like, this thing is almost brand new. Everything still has, you know, the little, like, you know, plastic wrappings and cardboard. I almost feel bad for opening this because, you know, because I don't want this thing to lose value, you know. But I will do it either way for you guys. So if you guys would like to see me opening this and, like, you know, form the little layout, like, please let me know. I think that would be a really cool video. And I know that you guys are just dying to see me, you know, form the little layout like I always do. But for the time being, having the water tower figure 8 set, pretty cool. But you can never go wrong with a basic standard figure 8 set in my opinion. And I still think they're really high quality and solid pieces of Thomas merchandise. For being just a simple figure 8 set, let me just say, like, this box is really heavy. Just comes to show you the quality, the high quality standard of classic Thomas Wonder Railway items like this. This one definitely is gonna require its own video, so be on the lookout for that one. And with this set finally covered, it's finally time to see the meat and potatoes of this video. Everything that I showed you does not compare with what I'm about to show you. So without further ado, so what is it, Hugo? Well, riddle me this, dear viewer. What is the #1 set that I always talk about? The one set that I had when I was little, but I unfortunately sold because I was stupid. What is the one set that I was always dying to have in my collection again after all of these years? Well, you already saw the thumbnail of the video later of me keeping you guys in suspense. Oh! Yes, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, I finally have it. The Thomas and Percy's Carnival Adventure Set, or as I always knew it, as the Carnival Caper Set. Seeing this again after so many years of being separated is one of the most special moments of my recent life. Out of everything that I sold in the Great Hugo collection loss of 2017, I think that this is the one that hurt the most for me. I just had a lot of hours of fun with this set. And the fact that I got rid of it, and for cheap as well, really hurt me, I gotta say. But here it is again, and man, I'm just so happy to finally have this set. You guys have no idea. When I saw this going for an online auction, I was eyeing this item like a hawk, because I just knew that this would make for a great video. And as far as I can tell, this thing is brand new. And here it is after so many years, I gotta say. Like, this brings me a lot of nostalgia. And you can see it's still in the box, and this thing is, like, you know, pretty much brand new. I don't know if you can notice, but, you know, the Thomas and Percy are still in place. Like, it still has, you know, the tapes. So it's like no one has ever opened this set like before. I even feel bad for, you know, if I open the set, because, you know, this has been in the box like for so long, and I feel like if I open it, it decreases its value. You see what I mean of me buying 2 of each item? Like, I now have a really big dilemma, as you can see, because I want to open and review the set so bad, but it's sealed, man. But it's like, what good is an item if I can't use it? I know it's a matter of opinion if I should open it or not. I know for collectors like me, like, this is a really big dilemma. Do I open this item and keep it in the box? Or do I just open it and devalue it? I know it's a matter of opinion of what should I do, but I think it all boils down to that I bought this with my own money. I can do whatever the hell I want with this set, I know. I can even run over it with my car if I really wanted to. So yeah, so I'm really stuck in this dilemma, because at the one hand, I really want to open and review this set, but at the other, I feel really bad for opening this because it's not often that I find, you know, take-along sets in the box. Like, this is pretty much the only take-along set that I have in the box. It's like, I don't want to, you know, like devalue it like that. But I came up with the perfect solution. I'm gonna let you guys decide whether I open this or not. And how I'm gonna do it? Well, you see, if this video gets 300 likes, I will open and extensively review this set. Similar with what I did with the Around the Barrel Loader set, I'm gonna make a fully scripted, fully edited video of me reviewing Thomas Percy's Carnival Adventure set. 300 likes and I will open and review this set. So if you really want me to open this set and just me talk about this, tell your family and friends and everyone you know to like the video right now. Or if you guys don't want me to and want to keep it in the box wherever, well maybe don't like the video. I think this is gonna be a really fun challenge. All of these years of me wanting this set again and just like bask in its epicness, I can't really use it because this thing is pretty much, you know, brand new. And so I'm gonna wait until this video gets up to 300 likes, and this is gonna sit on my room for now. And if the video gets up to 300 likes, this will definitely require its own video. So again, if you guys want me to open and review the set, this video needs to get to 300 likes and I will do it just for you guys. And with this set finally covered, I think it's a good note to end things on. So this is gonna be a really fun challenge for everyone. And with this set finally covered, I think it's a good note to end things on. Everyone chant 300 likes, 300 likes. And so that was everything that I bought in late June 2025. Thanks a lot of you guys for sticking around and watching my videos. I've been trying to make 2 videos per week and so far it has been successful, thankfully. By the time this video releases, I'm probably already in the UK having fun, meeting friends. So yeah, so this is really gonna be a really interesting experiment. If this video gets to the goal that I'm after, I hope you guys found the video extremely fun. I definitely enjoyed making it. And if you guys like these styles of videos and want me to make more, please let me know in the comments, because I have a lot more items to show. As always, if you like what I do and you find me funny, you can always support me by becoming a channel member, link in the description, or you can always support me by subbing to my Patreon. Link also in the description. And as a last reminder, if you guys would like me to open the awesome Carnival Caper set, let's get this video up to 300 likes. Tell your friends about it, tell your family, tell your dog, your 5th grade English teacher, tell your bank accountant, you know, spread the word as much as you can. For the time being, this has been Faraway Quarry 13 speaking. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next time. Adios.